Now, if there's anything that I sometimes forget, it's just how good Blizzard is in regards to making cinematics. The only trouble I find in regards to their cinematics is it doesn't really quite cross over to gameplay. The things that you do in these cinemas are generally awesome, whereas the things you do in gameplay are generally restricted to an RPG system that was created over a decade ago. But if there's anything that anything in World of Warcraft that I don't think worked quite so well in gameplay terms, is the battle between the Horde and the Alliance. There was a time in which I played on a PvP server, back in the day, and the result of the hostility between the Horde and the Alliance meant that generally one of two things would happen. One, in regards to what might happen in that PvP server, one, the Horde or the Alliance will lead an invasion into a prominent city. Usually that city is Goldshire by the Horde. The result of this is a minor inconvenience to the players of that city's faction, as all results of said invasion are always limited to how long the invaders happen to be wandering in the city. Or two, you're off trying to do a quest, when a group of opposing faction members gangs up on you. From here you can attempt retribution or go elsewhere. You'll probably just have to come back later if you want to do whatever it is you're doing. The actions of the enemy is merely an inconvenience. That said, I don't think the battle between the Horde and the Alliance has ever really been a very big part of the main story. When the game launched, like, the story was kind of broken up into its individual areas. But I think that was the closest you ever really got to just the Horde versus the Alliance. Whereas, like, all of the expansions are generally like this new big villain shows up that everybody fights. So in regards to this expansion, I'm kind of curious as to what that means in the long run. What kind of ending, so to speak, will there be to this battle? For now, though, let's start up a character and jump straight to level 110. And join this battle for the Alliance. Now, in the last expansion, I played a Warlock. Warlock was one of the two main classes that I tended to play back in the day, when I played in a group. The other class that I generally play both in World of Warcraft and also in other MMOs in general, is I tend to find myself playing a healer more often than not. It seems as if the quest dialogue decided it wanted to speak at the same time as the tutorial dialogue. Now, this is kind of a bit the same as the previous, similar to the previous expansion's tutorial. You're on this boat flying through the skies. Since we pretty much did the tutorial thing in the last time, I'm just going to kind of skip to the end of the tutorial.
Power-word shield protected you from the mage's first attack, but the second attack has left you wounded. Some spells, such as...
So in this tutorial, it's not the demons that are attacking. Just switch up the enemies. That way they can save time on having to code this section. I think some of these guys are just kind of standing around, doing nothing. How are we supposed to fight the Horde if they're not even participating? Although I suppose this makes an effective enough tutorial, especially since you're expected to learn a lot of different abilities within a very short period of time. It only kind of like shows you some very basic combat abilities. I mean, it won't really help my class when, let's say, I want to join a group, because if I'm playing a disciplined priest, I'm probably not going to be doing any damage.
Well done, hero. You are not prepared to do battle. When you feel ready, explore your spellbook and the talent tree for additional abilities you can learn. For the Alliance!
And then it dumps it all on you. One giant dump all over your spellbook. Actually, hold on a second. A disciplined priest does not seem to have basic healing spells. Which itself, I think, is relatively new? Or at the and by relatively, I mean new for myself. Because I believe back in the day, they at least had... Like, the difference between a disciplined priest and a holy priest was that a holy priest had access to a healing over time spell. But in this case, I just really have, like, these alternate spells. Like Powered Radiance. Like, now discipline seems to be more towards barriers, stopping people from taking damage, versus recovering from damage. So most likely, if I'm going to start going back into dungeons, I might be more comfortable switching over to Holy. But that's also one of the convenient things, quality of life improvements that Blizzard added in as the games progressed. In the original version, you specialized in one thing, and one thing only.
Champions of the Alliance, the time has come for us to claim what is rightfully ours. The final push to retake Lordaeron Keep commences at dawn. The Horde and their war chief must answer for their crimes.
And now we're going to be able to see the cinematic, but from a gameplay perspective. Ooh, with a whole bunch of other people.
Follow me.
Looks like Corpsalicat is in charge. Let's see, what kind of mounts have I got access to? Sea-bred stallion. Sure, why not? They look stupid, but what you gonna do?
Brothers and sisters of the
Only one
Alliance,
other priest?
hear
Oh,
me.
wait, that's just me.
The Horde's cowardly attack on Teldrassil brought war upon us and made clear what is truly at stake. Their war chief's goal was not
Teldrassil?
to
They attacked
capture a
Nine.
single state,
Okay,
but to destroy our way of life and snuff out hope for generations to come. To secure our future, the Banshee Queen must answer for her crimes. Her dark reign ends today. Together, we will drive her
Okay,
evil from
so-
this land and raise our banners above Lordaeron once more. Stand as one.
so I didn't bother reading any of the wikis to see what happened between the last expansion
And form
and this game. Oh yeah, I got penance. I guess that's my healing spell go-to. I didn't read the wiki, so there are certain parts of the plot that I don't necessarily haven't really kept up with. What was that? Oh. Yeah, that's kind of fun. So, like the last time, everybody was trying to get it on with some demon folk. But at the last minute, Lady Sylvanius, I believe her name is, turned her back on the Alliance, causing tremendous losses. Let's see, they mentioned that Teldrassil was captured by the undead, so that makes me wonder if the actual, the city of Teldrassil is just not going to be accessible for the Night Elves, which is convenient that I'm made a Night Elf character.
I can't keep them alive much longer.
Look at that shaman. He's casting Lightning Bolt and Lightning Bolt. Maybe I should heal some of these people, wherever they might be. Okay. That's the thing with this kind of... Ah, there we go. This kind of, large, giant, fight. Like, where are any of these people? What are the stakes? Still, it's pretty big. I mean, you're not going to be jumping off of castle walls and doing flips and shit. Maybe in World of Warcraft 2, if that ever releases.
All units to the gates! Victory for the Alliance!
I presume those gates?
It's over, Sylvanas! The walls of Lordaeron will soon come crashing.
Ah, Sylvanas. I think I said Sylvanius.
I've never seen anything like it.
Anything made can be broken. Ken, follow me!
If it bleeds, we can kill it. Look at those brave men and women of the Alliance standing directly in front of their opponent, stabbing it with their sticks. Some of these war machines didn't quite last so long. Oh, the tank is blowing up.
Enough, Nedley. The tower! The tower!
But luckily, none of our lives seem to be in any particular danger. The actual playing of the game is almost secondary to just surviving the scenario. But that all changes once you get to actual quests and you actually get to actual dungeons.
Prepare the blight! Let it rain down upon their armies!
There must be another way, War Chief.
This is no time for sentiment, High Overlord. War demands that we take a more direct approach.
Doesn't he die in the cinematic? Okay, zombies with weird bug masks do actually look kind of cool. Our troops are not strong enough, but as magical skeletons, they'll be even stronger.
Bodies. Must evacuate the wounded.
The Blight is too dangerous, my king. We cannot afford to...
The Alliance leaves no soldier behind.
Huh.
This time.
This could be problematic. Remember that part where I said that we were not quite in mortal danger? This seems a little bit closer to mortal danger. I do not mind retracing my backing off on what I said only moments ago, as that only means things have gotten epic. Also, this is kind of like the scene in Braveheart, where, holy crap, my teammates are falling apart. Surely there's something I can do for them. They can explode a bunch of times. No, Smurfette. No, Darshana. You will not die on this battlefield. Okay, you're okay. Oh, somebody died. Wherever they are. I'm dying. I probably should avoid that. I'm guessing the Blight is just going to keep extending until as our defeat percentage goes up and up. Nope.
My king.
Gotta move.
Siege towers are lost. Our numbers are waning.
Father, help me. I need your guidance. I need...
That was a good try.
The Blight has broken our ranks!
Our assault has been for nothing.
What now?
Okay, that's a badass entrance. Yeah, Janna Proudmoore?
Alliance! Forward!
I mean, that's one way to make an entrance.
The wall!
We end this now.
I'm sorry to inform you, but this is the beginning of the expansion. Nothing is going to be ended now. Jaina.
Thank the
Jaina
Lord you've come.
Proudmoore.
You are sorely needed in this fight.
I stand with you, my king. The Horde will pay for its crimes. I'll block off. These walls won't hold for long. We should not linger here.
Sound advice. Sylvanas didn't have much time to prepare for this attack, but we cannot afford to
do
underestimate her. Everyone, fall into position. We strike on my command. Again, I need you to cover our backs. It's too risky to funnel everyone through the side of the keep all at once. There will certainly be traps.
Agreed. I'll guard the rear flank.
Yeah, that definitely does
Let's
sound like a
move.
terrible decision.
Jaina, block the exits. Don't let them call for reinforcements.
Winds of the Eagle Spirit gonna scour your bones. Oh, okay. This does not seem to be working in my favor. I don't remember how it went in the previous expansion, but this one has a lot of enter new area, defeat this many enemies. Enter new area, defeat this many enemies again. Ah, whoa. Now, it's too bad, like, it seems like it's kind of a missed opportunity to kind of also teach party dynamics. Like, in the tutorial, it kind of limits you to, like, 1 or 2 spells. Which is fine because, wow, okay. In the, if you're just starting the game, then it's good to not overload you. But, like, if your role is meant to be a healer, and if another person's role is meant to be a tank, then perhaps, if you want to limit spells and abilities, you give the tank only a few abilities that focus on doing the job of the tank. You give the healer a few abilities that focus on doing the job of the healer. And so, and the various other damage dealers, their own properties. And then, let's say this group of 19.
That army is enormous. Give the word and I will teleport us to safety.
If we turn tail now, we just become...
I wonder if I was just not supposed to X that out. So let's say instead of having this kind of random group of like 19, let's say it divided into like 4 separate groups.
Illyria, thank the light you've made it.
I am known for my tiny plans. Mekator, are you ready for battle?
Indubitably! I brought some extra machines for backup. Feel free to give them a spin.
Jaina, get. Help me with Blightcaller and Lord Illyria.
And you generally have like the same objectives. Like you have the objective of just kind of like charging into battle, fighting all the bad guys. But you're essentially kind of assigned to a group.
Look who joins the fray. Good. I was hoping you'd keep this interesting.
Although I suppose in that case, like,
the pleasure is all.
what would convince the
Those traitors must be dealt with.
Okay, that eye patch wearing elf looks really cheesy. Like, what would convince everybody to run in a specific direction if they're not given reward to? And it seems now everybody is actually in danger. As there are a few more dead people, some people's internet connections were defeated. Oh, I tried. Sorry. Yeesh. This is not going well for the player characters. Maybe if I didn't spend all this time talking about the fight and actually participated, things might be going better. But we're like 76% of the way through, so that's fine. So yeah, like if there was some way to kind of funnel the basic group experience into the tutorial, then that might make a fight like this a little bit more on the meaningful side. Let's see. Ah, that's... Oh, okay. That's done.
Bane, pull them back.
Retreat!
Bane! Bane fights for the Horde!
No, they must not
Only
escape.
after you've seen Stormwind fall before you will you have my permission to die.
What is their strategy here?
That accursed blight blocks our path. Our forces can't follow her.
We can't let the war chief escape. Capturing her is the only way to win this war.
Understood. We will not let you go alone.
Mekatork, can your flying
Also, when
machine
did
get
she
us
become
past
the
this
war
blight?
chief?
I don't have many of them, but the ones I do are at your disposal.
So be it. Champions, with me.
Ah,
Mekatork, backtrack
sweet.
through the keep with the rest of our forces and station them at Brill. Be ready to strike on my command.
You got it.
Yeah, flying machine that I cannot control.
Stand aside, Saurfang. This war is not yours to bear alone. And there is no honor in killing you.
The flying machine was...
Father was a man of honor, boy. You know nothing of the sort. I will never stand down. I eat, sleep, and die by the sword. What price have you paid for your people?
My father gave everything for the Alliance. The question is, are you willing to do the same for the Horde?
My life for the Horde!
High Lord Saurfang. What have you sacrificed for the Alliance? I've sacrificed a $14.99 a month subscription fee. But that was only the beginning. Soon I would sacrifice more for expansions and the time to acquire meaningless digital items that would be considered trivial again in further expansions. Although I also hear they're trying to balance out that kind of numbers game, because as the expansions have kind of gone up, like every expansion has gotten to like meaningless, trivial, giant numbers. Like, do these numbers mean anything when they reach like hundreds and thousands of damage points in one hit?
My father once said that Varrock Saurfang embodied the honor of the Horde. He admired you.
No, offer him a dishonorable death.
So do I. Listen to me. There is no honor in this.
That is not for an Alliance king to decide.
At this moment, it is. Take him to the stockades. When I return, we will speak of honor, and how it may yet be reclaimed.
If you return.
We've done it.
Like,
Sylvanas
why
will
the
finally answer
stockades?
for her
Like,
crimes. Champions, to my side.
Hogger, like, breaks out of the stockades, like, every, like, 2 days. Faster sometimes. You might as well be sending him out onto the streets to deal drugs. Ooh, cinematic camera angle. These in-game cinemas, not quite as, definitely not as high quality as the pre-rendered, but still niftier than nothing.
Our king just routed your army.
Muzzle your dog, your majesty.
Sylvanas Windrunner, you have led the Horde to a place without honor. Lordaeron is ours. It's over.
Your father would be so proud. Is that his? You've gotten it all bloody.
Only one of us wanted this war.
I'm not entirely sure what accent she has.
I should have killed you when last we met.
How rude, sister. You're a guest in my home.
Your home? You desecrate that throne with your filth! Enough!
You put the torch to Teldrassil. But I failed those who burned. I will not make that mistake again. Surrender. Or die.
Also, what's up with these giant big fists on the side of that throne?
You've won nothing.
Oh no, she's used her magic power to run away. And all the heroes have left the playable characters behind, where we witnessed none of these things, and all died horribly. Thank you for watching. If you've still got the itch for more content, why not give one of those links a try? Got some questions or comments? You can comment down below or send it on over to itsoundedgoodonpaper@gmail.com. That's itsoundedgoodonpaper@gmail.com. In the meantime, so long, folks.